Well, if you are someone who frequents Starbucks recently, you may have noticed a subtle change. The sleeves, which are the cardboard rings that go around your cup when you have a hot beverage inside, they have changed color. They used to be brown, just brown regular cardboard. Now they are green. Ooh. They are green because they are promoting a partnership with Teavana. If you know the Teavana, the tea shop, you can find it in Market Mall. Did you know that Teavana is actually owned by Starbucks? Your Starbucks card will actually work at Teavana. So they're promoting a partnership between Teavana and Oprah Winfrey, guru upon all gurus. The project is called Steep Your Soul, and it's all about uncovering life's meaning, about living a more inspired, a more full, a more enriched life. On these green sleeves, there are quotes from Oprah. One reads, "Follow your passion. It will lead you to your purpose." Another is, "Know what sparks the light in you, then use that light to illuminate the world." All of that stuff is kind of pretty popular today. After all, who doesn't want to uncover the meaning of life or unearth that deep inspiration that will drive all of our lives? Who doesn't want to live a more full, a more vibrant, a more fulfilled existence? I think it's one of the main yearnings that we have as people. We have that. And that's one of the reasons why I think Steep Your Soul is so popular. And probably why the book The Secret was so popular before that, and why The Purpose-Driven Life was popular before that. We have this yearning for this vibrancy of spirit, this fully charged type of life. In our gospel reading today, Jesus speaks to that yearning. He speaks to the manner in which he fulfills that. And it's different from all the books, all the platitudes. It's different from the coffee sleeve slogans that suggest that abundant life is found in ourselves by awakening something within us. Jesus says rather that abundant life is a gift. It's a gift that we enter into through him. I am the gate, he says. It's my presence. I am the gate. He is the way. He's the source. He's the one to provide that most spiritually vibrant and nourished life. If you wish to follow along, I invite you to pick up your pew Bibles and turn to John chapter 10. John is in the New Testament. It's the stories of Jesus, and the first four books are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then John. And the point of this passage is not to figure out kind of who is who. Jesus is talking in a parable at the first part. He talks about sheep and shepherds and gatekeepers and thieves and bandits. And the point isn't to figure out who is who. It's not to understand how an agricultural society understood the relationship between sheep and shepherd. That's not the point. The point that Jesus makes in this passage is that he is the way to abundant life. That's the point. That's what he gets to. That abundant life that he talks about is about a deep fulfillment and deep blessing. It is not enough just to survive or just to scrape by. That's not what he's talking about. That's not the life that Jesus is holding out. It's about deep immersion. It's about being connected to that deep well of enrichment that satisfies us, that revives us. We sang in I Heard the Voice of Jesus Say, there's this line, "My soul was revived, and now I live in him." It's about that revival. It's about that healing. In verse 8, Jesus images this as a pasture. He talks about himself as the gate. I am the gate. All who enter by me enter salvation. Then he says, they will come in and they will go out and they will find pasture. Pasture provided the sheep with what they needed to live. And yet there is a difference isn't there, than having a small little grassy knoll to nibble on and having a whole wide open field at your disposal. It's like the most blessed invention in the world, the buffet, right? There's a difference, isn't there, than having one plate of food and then having this line of goodies that you can go in and out as many times as you want and stuff into your life all that you can cram in. How blessed is that? That's the image he's putting out. That's the image that he's holding out, and that's what our spiritual lives can be like, Jesus says, if we go through him. It's just like there's a difference between simply saying our prayers, saying the words on the page, and praying in a deep way by which we know in word and in spirit that we are actually communicating with the presence of God who is all around us. It's just like there is a big difference between saying that we believe in Jesus and knowing in some way deep in our lives and in our hearts that Jesus is here. It's like there is a big difference between facing all our struggles and all our problems and feeling like our tank is perpetually half empty, and facing our struggles and problems and anxieties, but knowing that we have an eternity of support and care to uphold us and to carry us through the thickest of things. There's a big difference in the abundance of life. Abundant life is about assurance. It's about an inner assurance of all God's promises. One of the verses in the New Testament that says that in Jesus, all the promises of God are yes. It's the assurance that enables us to hear Christ's words of love and favor and acceptance and forgiveness, even if everything within us screams the opposite. It assures us that those things are true. Abundant life is about nourishment. It's about being fed deep in our souls. It's about the feelings of love, about being so overwhelmed in that rich love of God that it oozes out of us. It's about having a joy and a peace that this world cannot give and we can't find anywhere else. It's about having an inner strength that seems to withstand the harshest of times and the biggest of giants. Abundant life is about healing. This whole passage occurs after Jesus heals a blind man. And then he confronts the Pharisees with their own blindness because they can't really seem to see what's going on. Of course, abundant life doesn't mean that we're going to be physically healed of anything that ails us. After all, we know that sometimes sicknesses happen and ills happen. It's not always about physical healing, just like it's not about God wanting to give us a bigger house and a faster car. This is about Jesus nurturing the life in us that allows us to see the presence of Jesus more and more in our lives. And yes, sometimes that does occur through physical healing. Sometimes it occurs through other means. It could be the ebbing away of anger or hurt or bitterness. It could be the ability to move past something, finally just put something down and leave it. Or it could be a strength in the midst of something physical, a strength to go through it. And even though there are thieves and robbers that threaten us, abundant life is about the confidence of God's presence for us as the one who guards us. Just after our passage, Jesus says he's not just the gate, he's also the shepherd who fights for the sheep, who lays down his life for the sheep. Abundant life means a myriad of things, but ultimately all the expressions testify deep within us that whatever nourishment or safety or healing or assurance that we're looking for comes not from ourselves, nor from uncovering our passion or whatever it is lights our spark. It's about accepting the one who journeys with us.